It's time for Michael Morales Torres and Lucha Libre Online.
Saludos a toda la afición de la lucha libre. Este que les habla es Michael Morales Torres, integrante del equipo de Lucha Libre Online. Y tenemos el enorme privilegio, primero que todo, de presentarle a nuestro co-host especial por la tarde de hoy, directamente de Costa Rica para el mundo, Fabricio Solano, y directamente desde MLW, uno de los equipos más consolidados en la industria de la lucha libre, representando la prestigiosa dinastía Von Erich, Ross and Marshall, the Von Erichs. Guys, I will ask you, how are you doing today? But hell, you're in Hawaii. You're doing extremely good. But still, I'm gonna do it. How are things going for you guys in Hawaii?
Man, things are great. Things are good right now. We've been training harder than we've ever trained. You know, we had the fight against Los Parks. We learned a lot about ourselves, and we're gonna come back better and stronger. But now it's dangerous because we got nothing to lose, and so we're just pumped. It's training hard, yeah.
Awesome, guys. First of all, thank you so much for being here with us today. It is such an honor to have you as our guest. But Fabricio will be doing the first question, and it is about your dynasty, your prestigious Von Erich family. Fabricio, vamos contigo.
Gracias, Michael. So thank you, guys. I'm so excited to share this moment with you, with amazing superstars. I mean, it's a great honor. My first question is the next one. So how does it feel part of the prestigious Von Erich dynasty?
Yeah, when we grew up, it's all we ever knew. My grandfather was in the business, all of my uncles and my dad. So my earliest memories are just being in dressing rooms and going to shows with my dad and wrestling with my dad and cheering for him at the matches. And so, it's all we've ever known, but we're nothing but grateful and happy for this opportunity we have. The day that it really hit us was when we actually started wrestling. But before that, it was all we knew. We were raised in locker rooms. But then when we started wrestling and performing, that was when we realized what our uncles and our grandfather, all the blood and sweat they put into the business. And, and we just want to honor that by trying as hard as we can.
So let me translate that to Spanish. Ross y Marshall mencionan que ellos crecieron dentro de la industria de la lucha libre. Ellos ya estaban en los camerinos desde que eran unos niños. Bueno, obviamente son los hijos de Eric Von Erich. Discúlpame, de Kevin Von Erich y su abuelo, Fritz Von Erich. Los Von Erich tienen una familia enorme de luchadores. Son muchas personas, tíos, su papá, su abuelo, todo el mundo eran parte de esta dinastía increíble que todo el mundo creció viendo, y ellos crecieron viendo eso, viendo como su abuelo, como su papá, como sus tíos derramaban sangre, sudor y lágrimas por levantar esta industria de la lucha libre. So guys, as I mentioned, your dynasty is something really prestigious inside the pro wrestling industry. And what's the importance of the Von Erich dynasty? But furthermore, what can you tell us about that solid territory of pro wrestling your family run for a while? Do you have any memories from that time?
He's got more memories of it. I got a few memories of my Uncle Kerry, but since I'm the young, handsome one, he's got the more memories, I think. My grandfather, he tried so many things. He was it was a fireman. He was a dental assistant. He's tried everything, and then he played in the NFL, football, and then wrestling came about. He got involved with wrestling and turned out being one of the hottest territories in all of wrestling. The Sportatorium in Dallas was the start of everything for our family. And my grandfather, he was already wrestling, but he realized he had 5 sons that were good athletes, football players, basketball players, and he wanted to. They all loved and enjoyed watching my grandfather wrestle. But at the time, my grandfather was a bad guy, and so they said at school they'd get in fights all the time because his dad was a bad guy on TV, and so it made them stick close together as brothers. They were all each other had, and then it's as they got older, I think my Uncle Dave was actually the first one. My dad started, he had the debut first, but then my Uncle Dave continued to wrestle while my dad played football.
and then they all came in. They brought my Uncle Kerry in, and then it was just, you know, magic from there.
So let me translate that part to Spanish. Marshall le dice a Ross que él es el hermano joven, él es el hermano más guapo, por lo que Ross tiene un poco más de memorias de la situación. Y menciona obviamente que tienen esas memorias de estar en Dallas, en el territorio de su familia, que en un momento dado estuvo extremadamente caliente. Y pues mientras unos jugaban fútbol, otros luchaban y así sucesivamente, pero Fritz teniendo tantos hijos tan talentosos y estos hermanos se encargaron de levantar el territorio y convertirlo en lo que todos conocemos, que era el prestigioso territorio de Dallas, de los Von Erichs. Fabricio, vamos para la próxima pregunta. Fabricio is going to be asking the next question.
Perfect translation. I understood all of it.
Do you really understood, or are you joking with us?
Yeah, but no, I don't.
We take your word for it. Yeah.
I trust
Awesome.
you.
Thank you.
So, guys, the next, do you have any history while growing up seeing your family in action as a wrestler? If you, what histories can you share with us?
For me, I remember always being in the dressing room with my dad, and I'd see him tape his wrist, and so I would always want him to tape my wrist, and then I'd stay in the dressing room the whole show until my dad or one of my uncles came out, and then I would go out there and tell everybody that's my family, that's my dad, and nobody believed me, and you know, I just remember I was really young at the time, but I just remember the feeling of going to shows and then leaving and everyone crowding around the car, banging on the windows. And, you know, it was just a cool experience as a kid. Very cool.
My dad, my oldest sister, she was really little, and they had to, my dad would put her in a suitcase to leave the venue because he's worried about her, and she would want to ride in the suitcase as they ran to the car. and so that was her way out.
So let me translate that part to Spanish. Fabricio le pregunta entre las múltiples historias que tienen como parte de la familia Von Erich con su papá, con sus tíos, como parte de esa prestigiosa dinastía. Y Ross menciona que en su tiempo lo que él hacía, y recuerda que le ponía el tape o la cinta adhesiva en las muñecas a su papá, al igual que él quería que su papá le pusiera el tape en el área de las muñecas o la cinta adhesiva. Al igual que eso, menciona que pusieron a su hermana Marshall dentro de una maleta en una historia extremadamente graciosa. Guys, Fabrice is going to shoot the next question, and it is about Major League Wrestling. Ellos están ahora mismo, let me do this in Spanish. Major League Wrestling MLW todos los miércoles a las 7 de la noche, hora del este, MLW Fusion, disponible entre múltiples lugares. Los pueden encontrar en su canal de YouTube como Major League Wrestling. De igual manera los pueden encontrar en Bein Sports USA, DAZN y Fubo Sports. Miércoles 7 de la noche, hora del este. Fabricio.
Guys, why did Ross and Marshall choose MLW as their home?
Oh man, it was kind of a crazy time in our wrestling careers. We were, you know, working a lot in Texas, and before that was Japan and Israel and all these awesome places. But we were kind of at a crossroads if we should continue to wrestle, because it was only in Texas, but getting us to Texas was expensive, and we had the opportunity to wrestle for WWE, but we'd have to move to Florida and move away from our family. And if we've learned anything from my dad, is, you know, family is important, and, you know, you don't get these days back. And so, you know, we were wrestling in a Super 8 called the Super 8 in Philadelphia, and we met Brian Pillman Jr. and we got a message from Court Bauer, and it was just crazy. He saw so much in us and really believed in us, and he was willing to let us live in Hawaii and still work with us. And it was at a perfect timing. And we've always been huge fans of MLW. We love that they have everything. They have hardcore, they have lucha libre, they have strategic wrestling, strong style, anything you want, they have. And you know, that was something that we were really drawn to, and it was attractive to us. And so when we got the call, we jumped all over it. And, you know, that's MLW is exactly where we want to be. We love it there. We can't wait to see where it goes. We think it's going to get bigger and bigger. But yeah, it's been a fun ride.
So let me go to Spanish on that one. Fabricio les pregunta por qué seleccionaron a MLW como su hogar, a lo que Ross y Marshall ambos contestan que en algún momento dado tuvieron la oportunidad de trabajar para WWE, pero decidieron que la familia y el tiempo con sus familiares era mucho más importante, su unión familiar y el tiempo que nadie te iba a devolver. Antes de MLW lucharon en Japón, lucharon en Israel, lucharon en todo el mundo y deciden seleccionar MLW como su hogar. Brian Pillman Jr. es quien le hace el acercamiento inicial. Posteriormente Kurt Bauer les hace la llamada y les gusta el estilo que tiene lucha hardcore, que tiene lucha vieja escuela, y la variedad de MLW y la estabilidad que tienen los hace sentir lo suficientemente cómodos como para que sea su hogar el resto de sus carreras. The next question, guys, is how do you feel knowing that your family and this whole legacy of the Von Erich family, first of all, is already being inducted into the Hall of Fame, WWE Hall of Fame, and furthermore, that you guys are third generation superstars with a huge weight in your shoulders regarding carrying this family legacy. So how do you feel knowing that your last name, your dynasty is in the Hall of Fame? And how do you guys feel knowing that you have all this weight in your shoulder carrying the Von Erich dynasty?
You know, in the beginning, the pressure, it felt like there was a lot of pressure, especially after we worked in Texas and saw how much the Von Erich name meant to the people. And people were really, really impacted by the Von Erichs. And it was especially San Antonio. In San Antonio, there was so many just like fans just full of love and passion. And you know, in the beginning of our careers, that was a lot to take in. That was a lot to take in, and we wanted to honor that because we're extremely honored to be Von Erichs. We didn't earn this name; it was given to us, and we know that. And the last thing we want to do is come off as, you know, snobby, entitled or anything. But this name is we cherish it. But you know, and honestly, what saved us is it's kind of a long story, but I'll give you the short version. But we were, you know, we believe that this was all ordained by God. You know, we didn't pick this road; it picked us. Every door we've tried to open is shut, and we've tried so many different businesses and football and track and all these different sports. And this is where, you know, this is where God has us. And so the pressure kind of dissipated after we know that we didn't open this door, He did. And you know, and it kind of just started falling into place. We looked at wrestling more like a, you know, like a not so much like a job, but it's you know, it's something our grandfather, our uncles did, and it feels so natural just to, you know, just to be in the ring, to travel, get to meet these people. And a lot of these you know, a lot of these kids at these shows didn't have, you know, dads, and they just have rough past. You know, a lot of the fans had pretty rough, you know, just rough upbringings, and wrestling can, you know, bring joy to a lot of people. It can make you laugh, make you cry, make you boo, and all these emotions. And we saw the impact of wrestling, and you know, it took the pressure off, and we realized, you know, if we sit here and try to match what our uncles did, it can almost be impossible. But you know, we are Ross and Marshall Von Erich, and this was the name that were given to us. God gave us this name, and so we're going to honor it by doing our very, very best.
Yeah, you know, our only response is to do our very best. Yeah. I mean, with all the pressure, we feel it, we know it's there, but how else do you respond? You pour your guts into it 100%, and we still feel like this is just the beginning. Feel like this generation is just getting to know the new third generation of the Von Erichs.
Love that answer. First of all, everyone has a purpose in life, and God gave it to you in the most brilliant way possible. I mean, you tried anything before, and you were destined for this, not because it is your last name, or not because of what your family were before. It is because God has a purpose for everyone in life. So let me translate this to Spanish. ¿Por qué motivo ellos decidieron ingresar a la industria de la lucha libre? ¿Qué presión sentían en sus hombros en el momento en que supieron que tenían que debutar como superestrellas de tercera generación, sabiendo que su familia son integrantes del Salón de la Fama? Mencionan que ellos trataron muchas cosas en su carrera. Trataron fútbol, trataron track, trataron muchísimas cosas, pisticampo, entre muchísimas otras cosas, y nada era como para ellos. Y eventualmente fue Dios, como ellos mencionan, y el llamado de la vida que les abrió las puertas para llegar a esta industria de la lucha libre, más allá de su destino, más allá del apellido familiar que cargaban. Simplemente fue Dios el que se encargó de abrirle todas las puertas hasta lograr concretar lo que son hoy día. Fabricio, let's go to the last question.
Thank you, Michael. So thank you guys for this amazing message for all these wrestling fans. So I have the last one, and that's what's the most difficult audience that you faced and why?
The most difficult audience we ever.
Oh man, there's been a few. Philadelphia is pretty hard because in Texas, that they're hardcore Von Erich fans, so that Texas is one of the funnest. Israel's a really good crowd. Always wanted to work in Mexico, but Philadelphia. We've always wanted to work there our whole lives, and there was just a couple dudes that I don't think liked us very much, but you're going to get that in wrestling, and that's one thing. That's one of the biggest lessons I've learned is you can't please everybody. Not everybody's going to like you, in wrestling. But yeah, I think for me it was Philadelphia or that time in Kansas. Everyone started talking crap to me. All the fans did. But.
Yeah, we've had a couple. Yeah, maybe it's a toss-up between Kansas or Philadelphia. I don't know.
Yeah, good people. There's some hardcore good fans too, but yeah, I think Philadelphia was pretty. They were they know their wrestling and they want it a certain way.
So let me translate that to Spanish. Fabricio le pregunta sobre cuál ha sido la audiencia más difícil a la que se han enfrentado. Estos caballeros han estado en Japón, han estado en Israel, han estado en todo Estados Unidos, son de Hawái. Y entonces mencionan que obviamente Texas son fanáticos de los Von Erichs y siempre es bueno enfrentarse allí a sus oponentes, pero que hay un empate entre las dos audiencias más difíciles, entre Filadelfia, obviamente el público original del ECW, y Kansas. Son los dos públicos más difíciles para ellos hasta el momento. Before we go, I want to say also something in Spanish. Instagram, pueden seguirlos como RAM Von Erich, Ram Von Erich, síganlo ahí, todo su contenido, sus fotos, sus videos, Ram Von Erich en Instagram, Twitter, Ross Von Erich aparte y Marshall Von Erich aparte, Ross Von Erich y Marshall Von Erich aparte, Instagram es juntos, Ram Von Erich, y de igual manera todos los promotores en México, en Puerto Rico, en Chile, Panamá, Argentina, estos son un equipo de A+ que ustedes quieren tener en su cartelera, pueden contactarlos directamente en su booking email como rmvonerich@gmail.com, rmvonerich@gmail.com, y ahí van a poder verlos y tratar de hablar de negocios con ellos. Dos caballeros excelentes, cargan un legado familiar, ex campeones mundiales en parejas, ex atletas de diferentes clases, tienen todo para triunfar y elevar su empresa al próximo nivel. Por último, mlwshop.com para toda la mercancía de MLW y prowrestlingtees.com/Von Erich Family. Los pueden encontrar de igual manera allí. Si quieren una camisa de lo que sea, Von Erich Family, prowrestlingtees.com. Y por último, MLW Fusion, miércoles 7 de la noche, hora del este. En adición de eso, lo pueden ver en YouTube, en Bein Sports, DAZN y Fubo Sports. Guys, it's been such an honor for us to have you here as our guest. We feel blessed with your presence here. So thank you so much for your time. Always wishing you the best of lucks in all your projects, not only pro wrestling, but in life. And stay safe, stay healthy, and we hope to see more of you soon.
Man, thank you very much. This is a great interview. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys. We love the fans, everyone who supports us. Thank you so much, and we want to continue to make you proud.
And then let's do another podcast after we win those titles back.
Let's hope to see that soon. Lucha Libre Online, la marca número 1 de Pro Wrestling y Combat Sports en español.